Hi, greetings. I'm Professor Donna Stahovich, and I'm going to give you a little crash course on APA formatting for the graduate nursing student. First of all, the first place you want to head is to the USU Virtual Library, and it's right here where I'm pointing my mouse, and it has a list of wonderful resources, online citation tools, and also a little bit of information about academic integrity. Out of all of these resources listed, my very favorite, and it has been for a long time, is the Purdue OWL Online Writing Lab. I've been using this since undergrad years. And this is a great resource because number one, it's free. Number two, it's very well maintained and very well organized. And my favorite feature is that it has an APA student paper. You can make this larger by clicking this. And then it also has an example of a professional paper. Students should use the student paper version unless instructed otherwise by your professor. An example of when you might use the professional paper would be for your final project proposal or a dissertation or a perhaps a capstone project, but most papers will be a student paper. All right, this is what the Purdue OWL does for you. Not only does it give you an example of how you have the page numbers, how you should write the title by showing it to you, it tells you, hey, make sure you indent or make sure you bold this, make sure you don't capitalize all caps, right? And also one tip I wanted to point out is see this title? It should be the very same as up here. And one thing students make the mistake on is they write the word introduction. You don't write the word introduction in APA 7th edition. You just get right to it. We all know it's your introduction. So just get to the paper. All right. The next thing you need to pay very much attention to is levels. And when I talk about levels, I'm talking about level headings. So if you type in level headings in Purdue OWL, it will tell you exactly how to do them. So you'll go here and look, it gives you a great table. So it tells you the first level is your title face where it's centered, bold, and title case right here. Next, flush left bold face, it's still in title case. Title case means the first letter of each word is capitalized. Next, you go to flush left italics and so on and so forth, and it gives you examples, okay? So that is a great resource as well. And I wanted to point out another resource because students often make this mistake, and that is UpToDate. APA style, so I'm on APA's own website maintained by the American Psychological Association. This is how you should cite UpToDate. UpToDate articles, as you can see here, do have authors, so please do not state UpToDate as the author. You have the authors, the year, you have regular sentence case for the article name. UpToDate is the source, kind of like a journal, and that's in italics, then retrieved, and write the date here from, and then you put your URL. All right, so that's one thing, students. Let me tell you about Perla. Perla is an amazing paid application or system that you can download. And if you have 8 months left or more of school, I think it's worth your money. I really do. If you were to give Perla your title and your name and the date, it'll put everything for you. It'll make a title page for you. It'll create a references section. It'll have all the bold in the right spots, all the indentations in the right spots. It will even create your references. If you put in a URL or a DOI, it'll make the reference for you. So it's a really phenomenal tool. The next thing I would like to talk about is discussion board posts. A lot of students miss. All right, what you need to do to be successful at a discussion post is to first craft it in Word or in Google Docs. That way you have it indented properly, you have the spacing, you have the references, then paste everything into the discussion board. I have some examples for you, some bad examples of what not to do. This one here, there's no indentation, there's no double spacing, the references is not bold. This is not at all the APA format for references. You have to actually write the URL. You can't make a link like this, and there's just a lot missing. This one is missing indentation, the references aren't double spaced, and they're missing some of the italics and other key features. This one is an example of a good discussion post. Do you see here how they have it double spaced? Okay, look at the first one right here. Now look at this one, double spaced per APA format. They have the indentation for each new paragraph. They have citations, and then they have references bolded and centered, and they have a hanging indentation, as they should, for longer references. Okay, so let's look at some papers with errors so you can see from a professor's point of view what we often see and correct. So here's an example. This paper, it's not centered properly, and that just takes a few seconds. You don't need the section that you're in. You don't need, the course listed out like that with the date. We all know we don't write the word introduction. You should take the title here, copy it, paste it, and center it on your first page. And then the headings here do not conform to APA format, right? They were kind of writing a SOAP note. They weren't supposed to, but that's okay. But right. And in this one, the references, they have all sorts of errors right here. So we have the author, the year, and this is correct. But what is this supposed to do? It's supposed to be italicized, right? The other thing wrong with this reference is that it is missing the HTTPS with the URL or the DOI. Listen, if you don't have the Korean Journal of Anesthesiology in your hot little hands right next to you, if you don't own a copy of that journal, don't cite it like this, because most of us, 99% of the time, are getting our references online. The exception might be your textbooks, okay? So you need to put the website where you found all of your articles. So thanks for listening to this crash course. Reach out to the virtual librarian if you have questions on APA formatting. That's what they're there for, and they're happy to do their jobs, and it will help you get a better grade. Thanks for listening.